It's lots of fun. Or how about harassing a Magikarp into a Gyarados, getting attacked by a Scyther, throwing Pester Balls at Mew. It's fun stuff. Lots of fun. Knocking
Hello,
Charmeleon into the. Oh, yep. Go ahead. Charmeleon into the volcano to be Charizard. Ain't that something?
and welcome. My name's J.E., and with me today is my good old friend, Alexander Gonzalez.
Hey,
And please
I'm
remember
Alex.
that we are not game devs. I thought you were going to do another me and go, hey, that's me.
I decided not to.
How are you doing today, Alex?
I feel like I'm 2 seconds behind on this show, and that wasn't something that was happening before. I'm doing great. I'm a little cold. I want to play lots of Pokemon Snap. I think we're both as enthused and ready to go in.
You say you're cold, but you're wearing a tank top. Whose fault is
That's why
that?
I'm cold. I can't. Hey, let's not victim blame here. I'm just telling you how I feel. You didn't have to tell me why.
But that is not the reasoning we are talking about today. Today, we are creating something new. Every week, we're not game devs. We create a new, exciting video game idea that we have always wanted to play, but do not have any knowledge or know-how to create the wonderful experience that are video games. Today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs 147th IP. Now, this one is an interesting one, I think, where I have no idea how this is going to work or how it's going to go. But you are this universe. This is going to be like a real world, but it's like a universe where there are superheroes, but it's not going to be super. Don't think Spider-Man, don't think Marvel's Avengers or anything. There's superheroes, right? But this story focuses around this universe's equivalent of Superman. He could fly, he's super strong, all that stuff. But he has a family, and this story takes place when this equivalent of a Superman and his family are going out camping at this big national camping spot with multiple things to go see and multiple things to do. How this gameplay works and feels is you and your family go into the car. The family goes into the car. You pick up the car, and then you fly up in the air, and then you choose. You can see it's like an open world area of this national park, and then you take your family to different parts of the park, and then the family comes out, take pictures, hangs out. You can talk to each family member, see what they think, do like activities with them. Think like Life is Strange or like Telltale style, where you're just walking around this open area, talking and to your family and things happening, and there's strangers around and stuff. Maybe you take photos and selfies and stuff with them or whatever. Eventually, when you visit enough places, there is going to be a story where I think your arch nemesis is at this park, and they steal your family. You go have to save them and stuff, blah, 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 blah. But the main gameplay I want is you going up, finding a place that you think would be fun for your family, sitting down, letting them out, and then do this stuff. Maybe you could also find places like barbecue or fish and do other extracurriculars and stuff like that. What do you think?
So it's a game where you play a super dad going on a camping trip, and you have to find places in a national park to land.
Yep.
Can I keep the core gameplay but change the story a little bit?
Sure. What's the change?
So you're a super dad traveling with your family, and your car breaks down in the middle of the woods, and you can fly it home, but maybe what would have to happen that your powers would be limited? Because I want it to be more like a game where you have to take care of your family and take care of their needs while also trying to show them a good time.
Oh, so you want this to be light
Like
survival where they're not like dire hungry, but they're like
No.
annoying hungry, like, Dad, we need snacks.
No. So somewhere in between of that where it's like we ran out of all our snacks, we're gonna need fish, and you have to like fish up fish using powers.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Or beat
So
up a bear. But you only have so many powers because something happened to you too. Maybe like something happened with the car that blew it up, or something happened where you tripped and fell and it stabbed you in your heart and you had to break off the stick and you're just impaled now.
I don't ever want it to get that gruesome. I don't think it's going to be like that. Like, I would think this to be...
Honey, come over here. All right, now I need you to look in Daddy's eyes. And on 3, you're going to need to take this stick out of Daddy. Are you sure? All right. Now, I'm going to scream real loud. Daddy, why are you taking off your shirt? I need something to bite on, sweetie. I don't want to bite off my own tongue. You don't want it like that?
No. I feel like it's going to feel like Disney, like Kim Possible, or like, what's that show with the platypus?
But like, I guess what I just want to know is what the gameplay is besides you flying a van.
So I like that idea where I don't think the car has to break down. That's just, I think it's funny where I think the idea that this family travels is everyone gets in a car and the dad just flies it. They never drive it. The dad would just fly them where they have to go. And that's just like a funny joke in my head. This was inspired by a one-liner from Running Marvel's Avengers where Kamala asked Thor to go on a road trip. And he's like, I don't understand you humans with your driving a car. She's like, it's fun. And he's like, I'll just carry the car around. And that's where this whole idea came from. Anyway, so that's the whole premise where that's just how they travel. That's just the norm for this family. But I like the idea that you posed where the gameplay is your family having needs/wants, and there being multiple ways to fulfill them throughout this park. One of the needs would be entertainment. One of the needs would be hunger. And one of the needs would be just downtime, where they just relax. So I think the first need is met. Let's just talk about hunger, where, one of them is you take your family to a fishing spot, and then there would be like a superpower sequence where you go fish in the pond. And I think the gameplay is going to be very more Telltale. Like, you're not actually doing the fishing. It's just like a cutscene that happens.
You have to make the right decisions to be successful.
Exactly. Like, choose how to go about this. I don't think you're doing QTEs or anything like that. But it's more like, I'm going to dive in from above, swoop in real like shallow and swoop up what I can. Or another one would be like, I'm going to take this item I found while just walking around as a net and then like fly through and capture them all and stuff like that.
What if your teenage son develops superpowers on the trip and thinks he can survive better on his own, and that's the enemy? Is that he starts getting stir crazy and like goes off on his own and tries to survive, eats maybe some bad berries, and you have to like bring him down.
I think that's just like a side story that could happen during downtime, which downtime I would say is just finding a suitable camping spot and like your family just has downtime. Maybe there's like a real... You train
him in powers and then he gets too sure of himself. And then maybe... Or how about, what if we play another story where he goes off on his own and then you play as him for a little bit as you try to do a side story to get back to camp?
Oh, we could definitely do something like that. Yeah, like maybe you talk to your wife or whatever and you're like, where's Danny? And she's like, I thought he was with you. And then it like switches perspective and you play as the kid now. And then he has his own set of unique superpowers or whatever that you've been seeing develop during this camping trip.
What if his superpower is that he can create, he can make his whole body metal, but he's not quite there yet. So he can only like make his arms metal.
Yeah.
Or like cover up just parts of his body.
Sure.
And then you see Danny, and when you go into his eyes, you see a bear. And he's getting mauled by a bear, but he's trying to keep his body metal as
you really want to make this super dark. I don't think it's ever going to get like that.
There's no stakes, Jay. Where are the stakes?
I'm pretty sure this is just like a fun, goofy game for laughs. Like, I see it more humorous.
So we see Danny, and he's been chasing a butterfly, and he's chased the butterfly too far.
The details aren't important. The details aren't important. I enjoy this side story. I still do want them to have a villain, and he captures the family, and it's like
Let's
just gotta go.
Villain, it's like the villain Bigfoot, and he actually has the superpower.
You want this to be a Wolverine Sabretooth situation? Because like this is like his arch nemesis, also on vacation, sees him and decides to just steal his family in that situation. Like, you got to think more like that platypus. Maybe
this guy's like a gadgeteer.
What is that show called? There's a platypus that one. Phineas and Ferb. You got to think more like that, where this is like just happenstance situational stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay, so what? And then the villain's superpower is that he can stop time.
I don't even think he has a superpower. He's just a super rich dude who does evil stuff by making weird gadgets.
So then he drives his Land Rover over to your campsite. And so he makes gadgets. So like one gadget he has is a gadget that can stop people from moving. Almost like they're frozen in time.
Yes, sure. That is exactly
no, but
what
it's
happened.
different. Instead of freezing time, he's freezing one person.
Right.
It's very different.
Because they go into a weird electromagnetic trap or something.
So imagine someone starts running at you, but you freeze them, but they keep their momentum and they just fly into a wall.
I thought it was more like they just freeze in place type of thing. They can't move.
Nope. Now they keep their own momentum.
Gotcha. All right. But oh yeah, gameplay. So you would fly to these different locations to fulfill this different stuff. There's the hunger thing, and it's not just fishing. There's also restaurants throughout the park. Maybe there's like barbecues you could do. You could like go to a store, buy stuff, come back and cook it. There's like other missions you could do to fulfill that meter.
Like a chili cookout?
Yeah, something like that. Or a burger cook-off or something. I don't know. Or for entertainment, you could go around looking for like museums to go to, maybe trails to go visit, whatever that there is. And then downtime, which I think that's off of like maybe like a meter in terms of like a time meter where eventually it's going to get dark and then you have to go find a suitable place to camp out, and then you go down and then camp out, and then that whole thing unfolds. And maybe the earlier you camp out, the more downtime your family gets, where you could like go around your camp, talk to your family members, and like do
okay, so what if
activities.
There's a dark background to why you're camping and why you're on the run, and that's why the villain comes in later, because he blew up your fucking house and you don't have a house anymore, and they tried to make it a vacation, but really the dad and the mom know and the kids don't, and that's why Danny runs away.
I mean, I guess
one parent dies in every Disney movie at least.
Yeah. I'll let you have, like, I just thought this was just a fun, happy vacation and there's no consequence like that. But if you really want to add something dark to this game, that will be the reason why you go out here.
Like, I feel like there's got to be some kind of undercurrent, some kind of, like, why are we all here?
Because they want to go on vacation.
Who just goes on vacation? I'm kidding. Okay, so they'll just go on vacation. They'll have a great time. We'll call it, like, the activities are they going to do? Is it going to be super themed where like you can do super stuff?
I think some of them, but you don't have to make like, I think you could have a choice. Like there's like options where like use superpower, don't use superpower type of
so
thing.
Like when we play through it and it's like Telltale, so you're having to choose decisions and talk to people. What do your bonds get you?
I think there's certain conversations you could have with strangers that they'll give you an item that you could use in a later decision type of thing. There's also things where you just talk to them for story or for laugh or like just world building or whatever. I don't know. Why do you talk to people in Telltale games? You just talk to them to talk to them. I don't know. Well, there's no reason for some of it.
I mean, in my time, you talk to survivors to figure out what they're thinking. Can they be allied with you? Will they kill you? Will they turn their backs on you?
Yeah.
I mean,
you never played Life is Strange, have you?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I could tell.
All right. So you're doing cookouts and stuff, and there's powers involved, and you're just going through. I just want to know what the story is like. I guess every story needs conflict, and it's going to be that villain coming in.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the third act, or the second act, right? Is the conflict, and third act is resolution.
Yes, but the third act, resolutions, I think, is just going to be like, we saved the day, it's all okay, then let's just go home. Like, I don't think it's like there's no emotional gratification or satisfaction of the ending to this. It's just you saved your family and the vacation's over. Let's go home. It's not like there was like, I'm not setting up a huge emotional arc where at the end everything pays off. It's just you went on vacation. This villain came, stole your family, you saved them, then you go home, the vacation's over. Like, I want to feel like you just watched an episode of a Disney cartoon. It's not
so
like...
you want it to be like Firewatch.
Exactly. Like, there's no... You're just doing these things to get closer to your family, maybe make some friends with some strangers that either recognize you, don't recognize you, have funny conversation, and then it's over.
All right. So what does it look like? Does it look good?
I think it looks okay. Like, there is going to be some open world travel stuff. So there is going to be like 3D models and everything in an open world to explore. I say open, but it's just, you just see over the camp and you see like where things are and you could fly to where you want to land. And then there's like probably a landing indicator. And then when you press a button, that's where you land. And then there's a shortcut scene or whatever.
And since it's Telltale, it's going to be scripted, and then you're going to have different cutscenes and maybe screens. Do you want there to be superpowers you can use to interact with the environment, like a puzzle game in between?
I think there could be some puzzle elements by talking to certain strangers, and you could use your powers to solve those situations. But I don't think it's going to be like you're going to get stuck on any puzzle. It's just going to be like, oh, obviously I need to take this and go over there, like most Telltale games.
He told me what to do.
Yeah. Or like we just show them a shot of, here's a bucket of water, here's where you put the bucket of water, and then you just let them do that. Like it'll be kind of like that.
Gotcha. So does this super family just want to see what like regular America's like?
No, I just think it's summertime and they just decided the kids are back home from school, so they're going to go on vacation. What's so hard about this concept of vacation?
I just don't know what we're doing. I don't know what I'm playing. Like, I just want to know, like, what do I do? Do I flip the burgers? Is that like, am I doing QTEs to flip the burgers during the cookout? Or am I talking to people? Like, does Richard like come back up later? Like the guy that I beat in the cookout? Like if I had a good relationship with him and the villain was helping, like do I go to the KOA campground and be like, my family's missing. I need as many fathers as I can get.
No, I think there will be some side characters that will reoccur, but I don't think it'll be the guy that you beat in the cookout or anything. I don't think it's any QTEs. It's just you decide to do the cookout and then maybe you go over and you decide on how the burger is going to be made. Like maybe you decide the ingredients and stuff, and then it's just a shortcut scene and then it just shows you the burger. I feel like it's just a really chill game where you are just going from it's gonna feel kind of like Assassin's Creed, where you're going to location to do whatever's at that location, and you just mark that off your check mark, and then you move to the next location. And the thing that's guiding you to these areas will be because your family has certain needs, and then there'll be areas that pop up. Maybe you have like a camp guide, and then you open up this map and it tells you like where you could go in the area that you're at or something.
Let's have this guy play harmonica around a bonfire each night, maybe write in a journal, reflect about his day, get inside his head. I don't know. Is that not something that would happen?
I think those are all choices you could make for sure. I think when you have your downtime where you build that camp, you can talk to your kids, you could talk to your wife, you could do different activities. But I would say the downtime, how it works is if there's like a actual clock that's moving at all times, you have to stop early from the activities to go do downtime, and the downtime time runs out and you can't do everything in your little camp. If you decide to do something, maybe your downtime will run out. And like maybe the downtime timer is dependent on how soon you decide to go make camp. But that'll have consequences, or it will just take longer to go see the rest of the camp or something. Maybe if you want a little bit of like, oh, I have to get shit done, is we have like a Pikmin timer to this where you only have 5 days to explore whatever you can. But then I think that would just like give unwanted anxiety that you can't see everything type of thing.
Okay.
I feel like you could the gameplay would be you could just stay here for as long as you want, essentially as many days as you want. But maybe there'll be a difficulty section where there's one, you only have 5 days, 1 days are limited, summer vacations forever. The summer vacation forever mode.
And do you want it so that maybe the more time you spend with each member of your family, the more rewards you'll get, and the way they treat you is different? Maybe you earn nicknames or something.
That, and maybe also they gain you. Maybe one of the downtime activities is training your kids with their powers or whatever. And the more you train them, the more options you have in dialogue later when you do eventually have to fight the villain.
There we go.
Did you play the Telltale Batman games?
No.
Darn, that also had like pretty good ways of doing combat. They had combat, but they also had like approach from the left or approach from the right and do this to do this or do this or do this, and then there'll be a cutscene with QTEs. I don't want any QTEs in this because I hate QTEs and they're annoying sometimes. I see. But it would be more like that, where in the middle, or you didn't get that far in Detroit, where Detroit had it as well, where it's like, how do you want to approach this situation? Well, I first want to go up this area and then use this thing to get here and then this to here. And then it plays it out and then shows you how that your decisions work out in the end. It's going to be kind of like that. You make these decisions before the thing happens, and then a cutscene happens to show you how your decisions made that work. And also there'll be decisions that are locked or you can't see, because you had to talk to this stranger to get a specific item before you even get that decision thing to unlock.
Well, all right.
Like maybe for the cook-off, there's someone in the crowd that will give you their secret sauce because they're your biggest fan. And they're like, here, I heard you're in the cookout. You could use my secret sauce on your burger. And then that's what is like a good way to win, but not the only way.
I see. Because you could have also had spent more time with your wife, and then you two double team the burger.
Exactly. Something like that.
Yes.
I don't know if you're feeling this at all.
I'm feeling it. I'm getting it now. I mean, it looks like we're gonna be able to, I play enough where I can unlock like number one dad is dad apron and stuff like that.
Yes, exactly. Well, besides all that, I think in my head, but I guess it is my idea, I have a firm grasp of what this game is, how it plays, what you're doing, where you're going, how it ends up.
Yeah, you're being a dad. You have superpowers, but you're just, being a dad, going to national park with your family, doing events and doing stuff like that, almost like the Wild Thornberries, but not really.
Yeah, like a cartoon, like I said, it just every day is just an episode of a Disney cartoon, a Nickelodeon cartoon, and that's just how it's gonna feel. Like you have time for one activity. There's stuff that happens.
So can we do a theme song the way Kojima does credits in Metal Gear Solid 5 whenever we go to a new spot?
I like that idea. Let's talk about the music. I definitely like the idea of there being like every morning when you wake up, there's maybe a theme song that plays, and then maybe like a tiny little splash screen of like whatever we call this family, like The Incredibles, but it's like...
Yeah, almost like WandaVision.
Exactly. But it's only because it's a video game, it's going to be like a 2-second splash screen, kind of like how Ghost of Tsushima does each chapter or side quest with like a chapter and then a name. But this one will be like a theme song with like a logo of whatever this game's probably going to be called. The Smiths. And then the Smiths logo pops up with like a short jingle. And maybe that's how every day starts off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. So we'll do that. I see where you're going now. And then we'll do maybe at the end of every chapter and every place you visit, there'll be a closing out thing as well. Maybe with images of things you did versus other people with stats.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it's also kind of like at the end of each night at camp, it kind of ends the same way, kind of like how certain cartoons end the same way, where you say goodnight to.
You say goodnight to everybody, and
Yeah.
then you go and you sit on a log at a bonfire with your harmonica.
Sure, and that's how the night closes each time. Maybe there's like a couple
And then the
variations.
harmonica continues into the theme of the show, of the end. And then the flames dance the different things you did that day.
Yeah, exactly. You're starting to get it. Besides that,
I see what you're going for. I see your vision.
What other music do you think we're hearing? Just typical
guitar, harmonica.
banjo.
I think maybe you're going to hear some banjo, some flute with the winds, because you're in a national park. I think you're also hearing what else? What else?
Kind of like acoustic folky music, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe there'll be like I also think there's not going to be a lot of music either. The music will be kind of just here and there, and then when you get to location, it's going to be very just natural sounds, and maybe there's a radio playing or someone playing music in the background type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's two ways I think you could do it. You can do it that way, or you can put a laugh track and have it overproduced. But then people are going to start to wonder if they're on a show or if there's some darker meaning.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's what Firewatch did and a lot of other shows.
Right.
Gone Home.
I think a laugh track would be interesting. I just don't know how that would be implemented. Maybe
it would make the player think different things.
Yeah, but something we could think about. Pricing.
Mm-hmm.
I see this as like a $40 game.
How good are the graphics?
I think it's going to look fairly okay. Like a level.
And how long do you think this game's going to be? How much?
I think it could take anywhere between, I want to say 8 to 20 hours.
Okay. I could see it being $39.99.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Alex. It's time to start your timer. Because it's time to name this game.
All right, and let's start the timer now. Timer has started. Hero Trip. Almost like Euro Trip.
I was like Euro Trip.
In the woods.
See, I'm thinking something like the Jetsons or like the Flintstones, but like a superpower name or like a superhero family. Like the Incredibles would be the greatest title, but obviously can't do that.
Why don't we call them the Powers? And it's like the husband's name is Max Power.
Sure, I like it. The Powers.
All right, The Powers at 52 seconds. The Powers is a visual novel, turn-based. I forget what these Telltale games are called. Decision-making, decision-based, story-heavy game where you play as a super family on a super vacation through a national forest where hijinks will ensue in every location, including burger cookouts, kayak trips, rock climbing, teaching Junior how to fish, bird watching, and more from the Powers.
All right. So I think we have a game here, Alex. What do you think?
This game, to me, I think it would be interesting. I just don't know. Like, I'd have to see what's going on with it. If it were, it'd probably be a game I'd skip. If it were a game like, not trying to throw shade, but like, not in a bad way, but Thimbleweed Park or anything like that, where they're like, no, yeah, it's just a family that goes into the woods. I'm like, and they're like, and what? That's what happened. But who knows? If there's a lot of good exposition or there's some bonding, I'm there for that.
Yeah.
I played games like Florence just to see like a little vignette of what happened. So as long as it's compelling enough,
Yeah.
I'm with it. Nobody needs to have their arm chopped off or anything. It'd be nice, but it doesn't have to happen.
Yeah. I mean, for me,
What about
I
yourself?
love playing games like this where it's just a slice of life type of game, I guess, is the best way to call it. Like, I know games like Everybody's Gone to Rapture have an underlying something is happening, but everyone gone to the Rapture, literally nothing happens. You just see a bunch of lights and people talking as you walk through some tiny town in England. Or playing a game like, I don't know, Gone Home, where you're just walking around a house. You know what I mean? I love playing games like that. I think they're charming. They're just fun. And
I platinumed Gone Home, so I do like games like this.
wow, you platinum Gone Home. I did not
It's
know
super
this about
easy.
you.
Not platinumed it, but I got 100% in on Xbox Live. So
Yeah.
if you're friends with me there,
So you even did beat the game in like 5 seconds or something ridiculous?
Yeah, I beat the game in 5 seconds.
That thing's really hard to do. I did that like 12 times.
I liked Gone Home enough to do it, and the game only took about 2 hours, so it was like, why not?
Yeah.
Play another 2.
See, I think it's gonna have like that kind of vibe where Gone Home also felt like a spooky game or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like, gameplay wise, you're literally doing nothing. You're just walking around learning about this family. And I feel like that's cool. The type of vibe this is going to have. You're just learning about this family, their inner workings, and how other people view a super family, that are kind of famous. I'm
playing What Remains of Edith Finch, too. So there's that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I would have a great time with this and want to be able to do everything in this park that has to offer. I would even be interested in seeing how much I can do in 5 days if there is a mode like a hard mode where you only have 5 days to do everything. Within 5 days, and one day is, or maybe the last day is the bad guy coming, and then you see what you can do with what you've earned throughout the game till then. Maybe the vacation has to be a little bit longer. Maybe it's a 10-day vacation. That's a long vacation, but they're a super family. Maybe they get paid by the government, as we found out Avengers don't. But yeah, maybe it's some kind of situation like that. But
I think so, yeah. I think they can do a 10-day vacation. Why not?
Why not? It's a cartoon. All right.
Yeah.
Now that we have a complete game, what game studio would you sign to be able to make the powers the best?
Double Fine.
Double Fine would do good. I also think Who Are the Life is Don't Nod. Don't Nod would do pretty good.
That's good. Campo Santo.
I always forget who does this, but they're my favorite Telltale style game, which is also not a very good Telltale style game. I just really liked it because it had RPG mechanics, which is the only Telltale style game that I know of that has RPG mechanics. But the guys who made The Council, which is having the name like a council is such a hard thing to find because there's things called like councils,
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's tons of councils.
Big Bad Wolf
me,
Studio.
Oh yeah. And then finally, I'd say, let's give this to fucking Toby Fox, who developed Undertale.
Let me say then, if you're gonna throw that out single developers like that, Lucas Pope, who did one of my favorite games, Return of the Obra Dinn, and also Papers, Please, which was also very good.
See, there we go.
But that would give this game a very dark vibe if Lucas Pope took over. But the music would be dope.
Here we go. That's when you're like, hey, Alex, go ahead and do the developer. I'll get the artist and everybody else. I'm like, Jay, look who I got, man. This game's going dark.
And with that, our 147th IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. You could write to apphoundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch into the game we created today. Also, give us feedback. We're still learning how to make the show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which you caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you liked our show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if you ask for a review, instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review The Powers, the video game we just created. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name's J.E.
And I'm AG.
Thank you. And please remember that we are not game devs.
Certainly not. I mean, like, as a dig. I just wanted to do a tag like I did AG. You're just looking at me.
No, I think that's a funny way to end it. All right.
All right. I was like, did I say something wrong there? I didn't mean to.